All right, so after you guys have your drawing kind of mapped out with just regular pencil, we're gonna start to bring out the charcoal. So you guys are gonna want to always have a charcoal pencil while you're working, a white charcoal stick, and then I know they're really messy, but I think it's good to have at least a black charcoal pencil on hand. So what I started by doing was looking at my photo and figuring out where all the light values are. So anywhere where I see that kind of white highlight, I went ahead and took my white charcoal pencil and just kind of mapped out where I know I'm gonna be adding white later. Some parts, like here for instance, that's more of a gray tone. You can map that out as well if that helps you. So maybe I'll just put a little mark there to indicate that I'm gonna be shading that gray later on. So once you guys have your values kind of mapped out, we're gonna start applying the charcoal. So I'm gonna start with a pencil. The benefits of using the pencil versus the big stick of charcoal, you can be a little bit more precise with the pencil. So anywhere where I see a highlight, I'm just gonna use my pencil to add that in. It's the same thing as shading, really. You're just using your charcoal pencils now. So you guys, while you're working, you want to really pay attention to your reference photo because that's going to show you where to add these highlights and where the shadows are. And for right now, I'm just blocking in the super bright stuff. I'm not too worried about any of the gray areas yet. I'm just getting in the bright stuff. And don't worry about blending anything out yet. Right now, we're just blocking it out, figuring out where our values go. So if I'm trying to do a bigger area, like right where my cheek is, I might switch over to my charcoal stick so I can cover more ground that way. So I'm going to use it on its side. I'm just going to follow the guidelines that I created. Start to bring in that value, and you guys can use your finger to blend this out. It's going to look kind of freaky at first because you're almost working in reverse. So normally when we work on white paper, you guys are shading in all the dark stuff. Now that we're working on black paper, you guys are going to be shading in all your light values. So it's going to it's like the opposite of what we normally do. And something I forgot to mention, you might want to erase your grid lines now that we're done drawing. You can erase those with just a plain old eraser and get them out of your way. They're not going to hurt your drawing any unless they're super dark, they'll show up. And feel free too to switch between using pencil and charcoal stick. They both work great. So like I said, I'm not worried about the shadows right now. I'm just getting my highlights in. We'll add the shadows in last. And I want you guys to practice while you're working, not fixating on one certain area too much. It's better to kind of jump around your drawing and work on different parts. So maybe spend a couple minutes on one part and then move up to a different part. That way, if you feel like you're getting stuck on a certain area, if you move around a little bit, it might give you some fresh ideas when you come back to that area.